Hello, everyone. I am so happy to present to you my research proposal and design. I am studying guided self-directed learning strategies. There is an issue that is pressing that I have observed over my many years teaching asynchronous online courses, and it's happening particularly in the general studies program in the College of Innovation and Design here at Texas A&M University. We have a lack of student engagement, and that comes from a lack of self-directed learners. So I have looked at this, done all the things that I'm known to do, except research, of course, practitioners. But so I have a research question, which is how does implementing guided self-directed learning strategies impact student engagement and academic performance in an online asynchronous learning environment, of course, in higher education? So my conceptual framework is self-directed learning. And there is much research to support the fact that self-directed learning leads to student engagement, which leads to better academic performance and success. Also has to do with retention. And higher education is moving from passive, where we just pour it in, to action learning. So this is constructiveness. The students will be constructing their own learning, and it is action research. The issue of low student engagement has been a problem since before COVID. It was noted during COVID, but it continues to be a topic of interest. So I was looking for instructional strategies that would interest the students more. I also did a count using their student introductions of traditional and non-traditional students. I have 40% non-traditional students in this course, ages 25 and older, and about 32% identified as traditional students, with a whopping 25% who didn't respond at all. So my problem is getting them into the class. The first thing they see is something that is interesting to them and trying to hang on to them that way. So I found some research on using generative AI. Y'all know I'm interested in AI, and also some integrated technology classroom activities that we could use. Lynn in 2023 asked if ChatGPT could improve self-directed learning by acting as a tutor, a virtual tutor. And several other authors have found that it does help and it does improve. So the self-directed learning has, I'm going to blow this up so you can see it, has 5 steps, sorry. First of all is to establish their learning goals, locate and access resources, adapt and execute learning activities, monitor and evaluate performance, and finally, reassess their learning strategies. So I'm going to give my students several opportunities. First of all, in getting their learning goals established, I'm going to use a wiki or something similar where they can share it with their classmates and see what their classmates are doing to set their learning goals, and take it away from the boring discussion boards that we have in D2L. And I'm not adding things to this course. It's a writing course. They're going to have to summarize articles, do a literature review, and a research paper. But in between, I had discussion activities, and they just don't get much play. So we're going to use the wiki. And then I want them to locate and access their resources. Now, I have them purchase the APA manual But as you all know, there's lots of APA information and training online. This is where I want them to use ChatGPT to produce a tutorial for APA guidelines. They can set up a quiz, they can set up a narrative, and I'm going to train them, changing my curriculum a little bit, to develop their prompts. Prompt engagement is a study of how to get the most out of your AI, generative AI. Then within that module of the resources, there's a library tutorial, because no, they've never used the library on campus. So then they will have what they need to complete the course. Next, they'll participate in the class activities, which would be to adopt and execute learning activities. And they'll move through the materials. The next phase is for the students to monitor and evaluate their progress. Now, how I can help them there is obviously give them actionable feedback in a timely manner. I always send an email out when things are graded and keep the grade book up to date. And that's when I get the flood of emails, when they have questions about their grades. So I'm prepared to that. And finally, they'll reassess where they stand. And for that, I'm going to give them a midterm satisfaction survey, kind of. So they can tell me what activities they've enjoyed, gotten the most out of, and what maybe we need to take away. So the research will be done with a convenient sample of students within 2 sections of my undergraduate professional writing course. I will use action research, and I will use a vetted survey that measures student engagement, which is called the Online Student Engagement Scale. But first of all, I learned this semester that I need to know more about my learners. I'm sorry, let me get back to where I was. I need to know more about my learners. So I'm going to develop a qualtronic survey to not only get their demographics, especially their age, where they are in school, and what they most like about getting their degree. Then we'll do the survey, the online engagement survey, and then the midterm qualtronic survey I mentioned. Then at the end of the semester, I'm going to ask them to engage in interviews, qualitative interviews that I will prepare and code. So it's mixed methods. I'm going to have quantitative and qualitative data. So my timeline is for 1 academic year, and I will get IRB approval obtained in the spring of 2025. And then this will move through May 2026. And it must be completed by fall of 27. That's what my planned moving up to graduation. I did find a great journal that I'd like to get this published in, and it's called Active Learning in Higher Education. And I also want to present at the Southwest Educational Research Association conference in 2026, if not before. This research is especially important to other practitioners in asynchronous learning. That is a challenge, always has been a challenge, to not just engage the students, but create a relationship with them. Students, of course, will benefit the most, because by providing them with active learning opportunities and things that are short chunks, bite-sized activities that hopefully will engage them more, is my goal for them. And then, of course, I've got my link to my references. And I appreciate I'm sorry, I wanted to back this up. I appreciate your time and interest. I will look forward to your comments.